Okay. Beautiful. Hello. Put this up. This up, and then I should probably also have my reference up for myself. There it is. I also have the real version of this, so I don't know why I'm like, ah, yes, I must have this separate reference pulled up. But I guess I can zoom in on that better. All right, let me pull this as additional reference. So what I'm working on, if you've seen some of my other works in this set of like Inktober sprites, this is going to be the evolution of Plodler, which is the little like raindrop with boots that I came up with for the prompt boots. And then the most recent prompt is hike, so I was like, oh, I should do something that, you know, expands on Little Mr. Boots. So that's kind of where I'm coming from with it. I do want to tweak the color slightly because I don't like to do the exact same color like across multiple sprites. So it's gonna be, this is gonna be my new base, which means that the outline should be this, I think, right? Cool. That seems good enough. I definitely want to tweak the drop structure a bit. Okay. How does that look? This feels like a little less smooth than I would like, so I'm gonna round this. Widen that a bit. I think that looks a lot better. A lot smoother. If I was to do it like this. Oh wait, I see part of the issue. And then this should probably go lower so that I can do that. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, that's better. Um, yeah, I don't really need to do a circular face here because they're kind of like. Okay, and then I'm gonna need to. On that, because this an important part of this sprite is going to be distinguishing foreground and background. Oh, one thing I should do, I'm gonna need a reference layer here. So currently that doesn't look super smooth. So I'm gonna extend it that way. Not too bad, but I think I would want this to be more like that. So that's 4, 2, 2. Yeah, that looks a lot smoother that way, I think. Okay. That feels too flat. I think I just need to extend this more. So that I can do So I'm just gonna delete this. I don't need this layer. Okay, so if I extend that, and then I put this down. Okay. So this makes that a little thicker, but I think that's fine. And then that would go like here. Honestly, wait, this would probably go like this. Then there'd be another one there. What if I took this, now that I'd raised it up? Done. Do it like that. So that I can do this a little lower. Yeah. Okay, so let's say that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then I start to swing this around to the front. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's not bad. So I'm gonna put this like that and then keep this here dark. Okay. And now I just kind of have to determine the path that this takes. So now that I've got this, I can erase that. I tend to be a bit particular about details like this, where I like to make sure that they would look good just sort of like existing, you know? I do it like this? It's kind of causing it to thin out faster, but I can fix that. By just tweaking how this side comes down. I guess one thing I can do is I can shift that like this. Okay, so what if I extend this? Yeah, that looks a lot better to me. That smooths it out some. And then I just have to kind of do a similar thing on the other side. And see if it balances. So this is kind of twisting quicker, you know, since it's getting lower. Okay, and then I just kind of have to yeah. Yeah, that makes some sense. I think for the yellow I'm gonna do so that'll be my baseline, and then we'll do and I might tweak how this looks, but this. And I think because this feels a little not wide enough. Up the thickness on that a bit. And tweak the angle on this one. Or go back. Steal his boots. Flip this one. Oops. Flip this one. Put it back. Take this one. Flip that. And put it here. Yeah, I feel like that looks a little better, honestly. Or does it? Okay, wait, no. I'm gonna undo that. And I think the issue is that I think that just looks better. Like if I do this one like that. Yeah. Yeah, I think honestly just with this pose, it makes more sense for them to be perfectly symmetrical. In the meantime, floop, take that away. What happens if I do this slightly wider? Yeah, I think that still looks good. That's pretty nice. Here, I'm not gonna do that too much yet, but I'm gonna put the faces on. So the faces are basically just sideways. So like, I can just take this. So for both of these to fit, one has to be all the way. And the fun part of this is I can literally just whoop. Yeah. All right. So put this here, put this here. Bloop, blop, bloop, blop, bloop. Interesting. I do have a darker shade. And that one that I use kind of as an intermediary between the darkest, like the black color that I used, and the kind of other areas of the sprite. So I'm gonna do some testing using that a little. Okay, I think I like that more. It's back to shading. Okay, and then similarly, go over here, do that. And then what's the difference I did here? So this is 3100 and this is 1690. Okay, so I went significantly paler. Only 5. Okay, so this is probably kind of the equivalent option over here. No, that's too much. Because I'm going to have... There's going to be like a highlight over here too. Okay. So now I've got that. I can do my AA. Well, not even AI, just like varied outlines. Okay. Okay. I think that looks pretty good for the most part. I think I do want to add just a little bit. Yeah. Is this way over detailed? Probably, but look at that. I'm pretty happy with that. But one thing I do want to do, I want to darken this more to better differentiate it from the original outline color I had. Alright, and if I'm doing that in this little corner, and then the other thing is, does this look better if this isn't true black? Maybe a little. Alright. I think that's pretty good. So this is Hike. Its name is Stomp, which is within the character limits of a Pokemon. That's the thing I've always tried to be very aware of, is making sure that I'm like staying within the character count limits. Okay, I'm just gonna real quick auto crop. So now I get to decide on shiny colors. The first stage is like a almost oil themed. I think I do want to keep the like black boots that the first stage shiny gets. Well, they're almost like a navy blue, but it's meant to be like a black boot. Rather than a yellow boot. So I think I did that, and then that, and this is probably and then yeah, this needs to become a true black to contrast with it. I might make this color a tad darker. That's a 30, and this is a 30 as well. Okay. Had to darken it a bit more to make it stand out. So I think if I want to make this oilier, I think what I'm going to need to do is I need to take this color $115 versus 95, so that's 20? Yeah. Okay, not quite the color engine necessarily initially intended, but I think this works pretty well. Because it's a pretty broad range that it travels through. Unless I did this as like a 30. And this is a 60 and like made it 30 each time instead. Yeah, I don't like this as much, so I'm gonna go... Yeah, back to this. I like this more. Yeah. So this will be the shiny. And then now I can toss these. Okay. And then I'll just make this one the same, but shiny. There we go. So that's one. We're about an hour in. And then the next one I think is going to take less time. Just that's the impression I'm getting from the design that I made. So this is the this is the sketch. This is it. This one's gonna be really easy, I think, because it's really just a matter of making the faces and trying to make the rest work. So we'll see how this goes. My plan is for one to be nice, warm, and radiant. And then that's going to need So now I just kind of have to start the outline. They're both just circles, so that's not going to be a hard part, really. Just kind of tracing within this circle right now, because, like, you know, when you're doing a perfect circle, you might as well make a perfect circle. Look. And then I can always make a couple tweaks here if I feel like it's warranted to make it look smoother. Because not every size circle looks nice, but let's see how this looks. Not bad, but yeah, it definitely feels like the corners point a bit. Which usually, if I want to avoid that, I just kind of do this. To remove points. Whoops. Wrong spot. It's here and here. Now that's been smoothed over. I'm just going to copy this. Okay, flip you. Whoop. And then whoop. A circle, mostly. It's almost a little bit more of a squircle. Just because I bulged out the corners a bit, but in doing so I smoothed it, so I think it's fine. Okay, and then the other one is going to be kind of the opposite, or it's a bluer color, and I might make it dimmer when I do the final final version. Yeah, it's literally just whoop, new circle. Maybe one larger. And then again, it's just a case of right here. I'm gonna do this on a new layer just to make it easier to modify. And then similarly, I'm going to make some adjustments to it and then kind of like mirror it, because this is feeling, it's going to feel extra pointed. So if I do that, oh, is that it? Is that fix it? Just doing that. Okay. Whee. Uh-huh. But I do have to widen it slightly to make it feel rounder after doing that. Technically, you're behind. Let me just do... Alright. Doing this on the wrong layer. Oop. Okay. Ah. sounds. All right. It's so tough doing things that are like slightly angled like this in a way that keeps them from feeling kind of lopsided, you know? I think if I take this, scooch it in more. Oh, look at that. That's such a happy little face. All right, and then now I need to make the saddest little face. So I'm thinking, yeah, we just do like the little like 4x4 eyes. And put like one little dot. Finny! He's going pow. I don't know where he went. Oh, there he is. Come here, Finn. Come hi. Mr. Pow. Come here, I catch you. I catch him. There he is. Hey, Finny. What you wild about? What you being wild about? Oh, goodbye. You liquefy away. So this is going to be a very easy mouth because it's just that. And then I just move that to center it better. That feels pretty good. He's so sad looking. All right, and then let's hit the sad one. All right, this is actually supposed to be. Again, I put it in the wrong layer. Here we go. This goes here. And that up here. Oh my god, they're so cute. I love them next to each other. They're so goofy. Oh, the one's just so big and happy, and the other is just like, no talk me. And historically, when I've done designs like this, the hardest part is deciding how detailed I want them to be. I think I want this to be simple. The last one I did, I wanted it to be complex, and then kind of chickened out, and that was the like ghost sun one that I did in the past, and I think I want to go for something that is just inherently simpler, from a design standpoint. Vinny, what you screaming about? Whoa! Come here. He's back. I don't know if you could see when he ran up there. He does show up on the stream. He sprints up the stairs. Look at him. He's screaming. I think one's taking a shower or something. He always gets nervous when people are in the shower. And he gets all excited when they come out. He's like, oh my god, I thought you were dying in there. I thought that was the death trap. And now you are okay. Good pats. Alright, you go. You go do your finny things. Okay, so... I'm gonna replace the pure, like the true white with that for this one. And then again, it's just, you know, kind of draw a blob. That's kind of, it's part of what makes it really fun to shade things is just that like you can be pretty freeform and loose, and still wind up with like a shading slash like highlighting structure that like feels good. Like, look at that. Look at that. Then if you want, you can add like a little dithering as a treat. One thing I do think I want to do though is I'm gonna really have the hue shifting and like kind of color tones that as they change, I want them to be pretty dramatic. Just because that usually results in a better effect. feel like it needs to be a taller, thinner mouth for it to feel more Pokemon-like. It's just this like tiny little mouth on this big body, and then this one has like a relatively big mouth for its size. I'll just make that. Okay, so let's hop over here. I do need to forgot to do this over here. Get this outlined. And then we just add a little, just a tiny bit of like AA for like shading purposes. To kind of soften that a bit. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So now we go back down here. Do I add any sort of eyebrows? I want it to look angry no matter what. That's one of the things that I'd rather avoid. Okay. Okay, that works. Yeah, that's the answer to how I do that. Yeah. Oh wait, did I put that in the wrong layer too, didn't I? Yep. Of course I did. Okay, that's fine. We'll just bump up temporarily, even though I'm gonna replace that with a lighter shade of this blue. Do I make these bigger? No. Well, I like that as like a little like, oh, he's like on the verge of tears. Little tiny binary baby star. All right. Oops. I've been putting these as like almost like a little signature on some of my designs. I should honestly put like a... Right here, should do it further over. Yeah. I think this is a lot better than this. I'll say that much. So, I guess next... He looks so stupid when I do that. When I just unhide it like this. Right here, I gotta... Just so he doesn't look awful, I'm just gonna make this. Like that. And then I can also be like, oh, you know, I'd rather have this be, you know, here. So you can see the eyebrow. More, but it's, oh no, it's too low. I'd rather have it higher. And then I just have to make very slight tweaks to like the shading to make that work better. That's definitely going to be the higher higher color like that. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so first we're going to take this color. This I am going to swing to 40 on the hue. I'm going to actually up the saturation even more. Let's do that. I'm going to reduce the value differences. Okay, so that one went down to 40 from 50, so this one is going to go up from 50 to 60. Okay. Because I want warmer with that. This is going to drop down to 30. This is going to climb. Okay. 50, 45, 95, 85, 65, 65 from 45. Okay, so this is 85 from 65. This is currently 85, so this is going to drop to like 75. More like almost fiery sort of color palette. All right, and then now for the little one, we're gonna do kind of some similar things. So we're gonna start with this. The shadow color is going to go bluer. So that's gonna go like that. The saturation increases by 20. The value decreases by 10. Okay, that's a bit stronger, so I'm going to change the saturation to a 15 change. 10? Why is that so strong? Oh, wait, whoops. Whoops. I see the issue. Okay. All right, never mind. Like this, this, like this. That's better. That's more like what I was expecting. I was like, that was so strong. Yeah, no, because I did it wrong. Okay, and then same deal here. Where this is now 205. This is now... Yeah, 205. 75. 75. Oh, I am realizing I did not do that on this one. Okay. All right, and then okay, so we start here. 100. 15, 175. All right, I want this to stand out a bit more, so we'll drop that to 10. Better. Okay, and now I can do a little bit of like anti-aliasing. Okay, so that was 50 to 35 to 20. Yes, okay. And then this would be... Okay, so that's 200, which means this is 215. Okay, that made this stand out less. Okay, that works a bit better. And merge the layers. Alright, and then this one, I have not revealed the name up yet. I don't think its name is Shinary because it's a binary star system. And I thought that was a really cute name for one where it's like, oh, you have like the one big sun. Oops. What have I done? Okay, here we go. So now, 9, sun, Shinary, or Shinary. Oh, I never really considered the typing. You know, I think this would be a fun one for this. Yeah, we're gonna do Fire Fairy. This is a Fire Fairy type. So now we have to figure out the shiny palette. I think for the shiny, I want the main sun to be like shades of pink. So I'm gonna bring this towards no. Ew, pink. All right. Okay, so we start from here. This is now 55. Oh no, this is 60. This is 315. And this is 85. That is so pink. All right, and then 100. We'll set that to like 10. And then this one goes from 330 to like 345. Okay, and this goes to 75, 80, 300. That's very pink. I said I was gonna make it pink. This I should probably... I'm gonna bring this to be less saturated because this is already 40. So yeah, I think that helps tie it together better. What if I did this further? This further. And then this. Yeah, that's it. It looks nice. Oh, you know what I'm realizing? I didn't add any AA to the black outline, so I am gonna fix that on the main one, and I'll do that on this one too. So just pull that one back up. So that I can do this to both. So yeah, let's just take this color and then boop, bop, boop, bop, bop, boop, bop, 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 boop, bop, boop, beep, boop, bop, 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 beep, boop. Okay, and then over here it's the same deal. So it starts at this one. And then it's just every single one of these little corners up until this one. And then I'm gonna do the same to the little baby one. Which I'm gonna do over here now. So it's doot, 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 and doot. That's all. Okay, so I'm just gonna real quick overwrite the original and then continue working on this one. So I don't want the other one to be blue with the one that's pink. I don't know what color I want it to be though. Like, I do want it to stand out. I could make it maybe like a kind of like an orange color, orangey yellow, like starting a little warmer than where the other one was. So like we'll start here. All right, and then this will be that. I'll set the hue to 10, 55, 80. Yeah, like almost like a peach color. Look at that. Oops. That's 50. Oh, I like that. That's gonna be the shiny. I'm pretty happy with those. Like, I knew that one would be way quicker. It still almost took me an hour. But it was quicker. I will give it that. It was significantly quicker. Okay. And this one. Bloop. Look at those. I'm pretty happy with that. It's way simpler because the one that I did in the past. Here, let me pull that up because I still have it. Yeah, it was a Celestial was the name. There's a few things that I liked less about Celestial as I was working on it. One, I wanted it to have that almost like boiling star texture. And I chickened out and didn't do it. Two, I don't think that the way that I foreshortened that like curve of like ghostly stuff that comes off of it, I don't think that really worked to convey kind of the sense of motion I wanted it to. Like, I don't think that the design is flawed inherently. I think it would work. I would just have to redo some aspects of it if I wanted it to like really meet what I felt was enough. But this, I think by playing it simpler, and in some ways, as a result, a little safer, I think it works better. Like, I think it's a stronger design at the end of the day. Like, inherently, they are semi-similar concepts, but I think Shinery works way better than Celestial did. And again, not that Celestial's bad. I think Celestial's a fine design. I think it's just now looking back on it. When did I make that one? Celestial was made June of 2022. So yeah, like almost 2.5 years ago. Yeah? Yeah. So almost 2.5 years ago, I made that one. And, you know, since then, a lot of my design philosophy has shifted. Two, I think I've just gotten better. Like, looking back at these old ones that I did, you know, I was really excited because a lot of the old sprites. Sure, can I don't want to add a file explorer thing, but just trust me on it. A lot of the old designs didn't work as well. You can find them on my DeviantArt as well if you want to find what I'm referencing. But I don't know, like I think some of them just don't feel as much like Pokemon. There's the ones that I love though from that batch. Some of the strongest designs I think I've ever done. I love Nambi and Nombush. They're two of my best designs hands down, even though Nambi is meant to kind of be like a zombie version of a Bellsprout. I think that the way I did the design and the differences compared to Bellsprout really are what carry it through. Like, I think it's fundamentally a very different vibe, even though it's a very similar concept. And then similarly, other ones that I'm really happy with, like Muskrage, Tuskrath, I'm not as huge on. And I think that's just a case of I'm not as good at more complex and evolved designs. And that one was trying to be like that. It was an evolution to Muskrage. But yeah, no, I'm like looking at these and I'm like, wow. These sprites, you know, I can see things that I've continued to do that I started doing here, but most of them don't work as well for me as the more recent ones. And I think doing the type challenge a lot of the designs work better for me. There's only a couple that I'm like, this one doesn't fully like feel as good as I wanted it to. Like most of them I'm pretty happy with. But then this newest batch, I'm pretty happy with most of them. I think there's like one that's in, maybe two. Which, to be fair, I've done 9. But like I think most of them really work pretty well. And I'm pretty happy with that. I think I've gone in a more restrained direction for the most part this time around, which has been helpful in just getting a more I don't know, like a more Pokemon-like vibe by going in that more restrained direction and not going too crazy with it. I don't know. I think it's been fun, like over the past few years, like really working on trying to like get better at making my own designs, because for so long when I was doing pixel art, I would make a sketch, and there were a couple times that I sketched like I sketched something that directly became a sprite, especially like later in the process, but usually I didn't make the final design. Like I would do like a back sprite. I would sketch the back sprite and then do the back sprite for my sketch. But when it came to like front sprites, it was like I would come up with a concept, pass it to a better artist, and they would make it work. And I still enjoy doing it that way. I did that some semi recently. If you think about it, like with here I could pull up the sprite that I'm about to reference. Yeah. So Moldy Husk, as a design, was Tater Talk, my little potato clock Fakemon that I designed as the first Fakemon in my Fakemon type challenge back in 2023. It's like June 2023 that I did that. And Scarlet Spectral? Spectre Scarlet? I forget which way. It's different in different contexts. But Scarlet Spectre was doing like designs for I've told the story before, but yeah, Scarlet Spectre was doing these designs for Paradox versions of existing Fakemon designs that people had done, and like you could submit your own. So I submitted like 4 that I really liked of my own and said, hey, feel free to do any of these. And Tater Talk was the winner. And this design, like Moldy Husk here, absolutely went crazy. Like, I cannot overstate how much I love this design as a Paradox version. Sorry, as a Paradox version of what I've already designed. It's just so good. It's such a fun, over-the-top design. I like that in some ways. Like, if you look at the things on its back as more limbs, it actually has more limbs than Tater Talk. Tater Talk has 6 legs. Because it's also like a potato bug. Even though sow bugs are crustaceans and have like way more pairs of legs. I think they have like 12 pairs. But then, yeah, like this, you could argue it's 8 limbs. You could argue it's 4. But either way, it's not the exact same as Tater Talk. And similarly, like, the eyes are just these, like, beady eyes. It's not like this display, like this, like LCD screen. I don't know, it's such a fun concept, and because Scarlet Spectre is a much better artist than I am when it comes to hand drawing, I got to sprite based on this just like outstanding drawing, compared to anything that I usually do. Like I can even show, like you could see on the sprite here that this is kind of where this one started. You know, this was the start point that I came up with while I was at work on lunch. And then, you know, like this was the starting point for Dropple Stomp. Like this drawing isn't amazing, and I think that's one of the other things is like a lot of people are often like, oh, how do you get good at art? And it's like you do it, you just do it, and you get better. But also like not every medium is something that's going to come naturally to you. So like as you learn art, you know, find a medium that feels super comfy and then use that as your excuse to play in others. For me, pixel art's comfy. I can't draw nearly as well as I can do pixel art. I can place a pixel and like add like the slightest minute sense of something, but I sometimes struggle to do that with a pencil. And at the same time, there's some things that can convey in a pencil easier. But like, yeah, this is the one that I did yesterday, Truss Wall. Tiny drawing. I did not make this a big drawing. And Vagabond is next to it too, as is Precision, which was originally going to be named Scoperch, but I thought Precision was a cooler name, and I thought this design was cooler. Like here's like basically beta design was more of an archerfish, and I was like, no, I want it to be an arrow shape, like arrowhead shaped archerfish. But like Trust Wall, also Trust Wall originally, Trust Wall, like if you look at this sketch, if I bring it as close as I can, he doesn't have fingers, his legs are longer, his mouth is smaller. Those are all things that I was able to, while doing sprite, like the sprite work, I gave him fingers. I felt like his legs were too big here, so I shrank him. I was like, I'm giving this guy tiny legs. And so I did. You know, Vagabond I think translated pretty closely, but the eyes changed a lot. The stick got a lot more detailed. The knot changed a ton. The knot was actually surprisingly different. I think Precision's probably the most similar. I think the only difference is that its eyes aren't like black like they are here, and I did that just because I thought that was kind of boring looking when I tried it in the sprite, so I kind of leaned away from the initial concept a bit. I strayed away from binoculars to make it more interesting to myself. But yeah, I think using pixel art has been a good excuse to get myself better at drawing. I've been trying to work on my posing more, so where I can do something more dynamic or more interesting. And I think for the most part that's been working. Like you can see Plodler does a similar pose to what I did with Clowie, you know, 3 years back now, where it's like tipped a little bit on one leg up. Did I do that with any of the others from the recent type challenge? No, I just did that with Clowie. So yeah, Clowie had that exact same kind of pose, just leaned with the he was leaned the other way. It was leaned forward instead of leaned away. But I think that I didn't really capture the perspective on the legs as well. And a few other things. Whereas I think with this one, I think the legs look pretty good, honestly. I think they're... I mean, there's not really legs, but I think the boots have a good perspective on them. So it's I feel like I've improved a lot at those sort of subtleties in posing. There's still some things that I'm not always as good with, oh, what do I do with the hand? What do I do with the leg? How can I make this design that I have in my head more interesting to look at? And so far I've done mostly pretty simple designs, so I haven't had an opportunity to do that, but yeah, I think it's just good to find an excuse to do stuff that is normally outside of your comfort zone a bit. And in my case, that's sketching and drawing and stuff like that. And I feel like every sprite I do, whether it was in Inktober 2021 or whether it was in my type challenge that started in 2023, or this Inktober that I'm doing, I feel like I'm continually improving. So yeah, if you're doing stuff artistically and you feel like you're not improving enough, try mixing it up, pulling in a medium you're not as comfortable with, to do something tied to what you normally like to do. It can be a good way to lean a bit out of your comfort zone and build skills. But I'm also it's weird. I am a pixel artist, but I don't consider myself an artist in the same way. I've been trying to get my head to accept that technically speaking, I'm an artist. If I'm making art, I am an artist. But a lot of kind of changing that mentality in my head has been pushing my art, pushing myself to do things that I haven't previously done. And it's, I think, been a pretty effective strategy. I think I would recommend it if you want to get good at pixel art, but you're good at sketching. Try sketching and then doing pixel art of it. If you're good at pixel art and you want to get good at sketching, try sketching your own pixel art and use it as an excuse. And you can always, if you're better at the one you do second, you can always improve on it more as you do that to get your final product. So I think for me, sketching to doing pixel art is an easier pipeline. But I think overall those are kind of my tips right now, my tips and tricks that no one asked for about art. But yeah, I'm gonna head out though, because I've wrapped up everything for today's stream, and I gotta start getting ready for bed soon. But I also have to upload these to Blue Sky, so follow me on Blue Sky Social. Love that social media platform, trying to use it more. All of the art after it's done is being uploaded there. Check me out on Kara. Every 4 sprites, every 4 Fakemon I design in this Inktober, I'm posting there in a little batch of 4 at a time. So if you want to see those in nice high quality images, go there, go check them out. Stare at my pixels. I do not post on DeviantArt anymore. I just haven't been doing that, so you won't see them there. These are Kara and Blue Sky exclusives. So if you want to see them, do check them out there. You could also probably convince me to post them in the Discord server if you want to join that. But yeah, I should be back this Saturday with Pokemon X. Yeah. So thank you so much if you joined me, you know, live or after the fact. Either way's cool with me as long as you had some fun. That said, I'm going to go do human things as humans do, and you probably should too. In my case, that's make these images big, save them again, and then upload them to the internet in a bunch of different places. So, alrighty. Goodbye. I'm leaving now. Farewell. Goodbye.